welcome back to the Feisty Ferret Business. My name is Alexandra Kilth and welcome back to this channel. This video, I did my intro the wrong way and now I'm tired. So today's video is going to be about nip training or bite training. So, ferrets are very social creatures and they are very playful creatures. You can't see right now that they are currently wheedle dancing by the wall. But thing is, they mostly play with their mouths. They will bite one another, you know, they'll sort of do what I call crocodiling at each other. You know, there's plenty of ways that they play, but a lot of it does involve their mouths when they're biting and nipping. The thing is, with ferrets, that is relative, with between ferrets, that's usually fine, you know. You will be able to tell when they're feeling a bit too hurt because they'll start yelping and there'll be blood. If the ferret means to hurt someone, there will be blood. Hey, what are you doing? There will be blood if they, you know, mean to fight. If not, if there's no blood and there's no other anything, and you know they're not yelping in pain, you're fine. They're fine. Everyone, this is Balsa. And also, if they're ducking, then that's always a good sign. So yeah. They will bite each other and that's fine, but obviously they will see you as a playmate. You are mama or papa or sister or brother, whatever, and they will see you as a playmate, so they will want to play. And from kits, they will bite. With kits, which is usually, you know, when people get on ferrets, it's a lot harder to train them, but because they bite more, because they're babies. It's like kittens, you know, they are very playful, very energetic, and they don't really know when to stop. So there's a couple of different methods that people tend to use to nip train ferrets. I'm going to go through the ones I used, how to do them, and you know, other general methods that people use to prevent this. And also though, if your ferret, so PM Balfs are now at a point where they will occasionally nip, but they don't put any pressure on, so it doesn't hurt, and that's fine. I'm okay with that because they have learned that, you know, it's okay to play like that as long as they don't put any pressure, and in which case when they do that, it's fine. But even Pierre will sometimes still bite a bit too hard if he's in the mood, in which case I will use these methods. And you know, some of these are a bit, I'm not going to say controversial, but some people prefer others. Some people think that things like scruffing is like inhumane, but I'll go for all of them, and you can be the judge of what works best for you and your ferret. So, I'm going to get Pierre as an example because he's usually the bitey one. Pierre! Pierre, come here. Okay, since I got this. Method number one is to play at a distance. Biting will usually come as a result of play, and if you play, it's similar to what people say of a kitten. If you play with your hands, they will see your hands as toys and they will fight them. Which is why, you know, when you see ferrets playing with their toys, they can get very they can get very aggressive with their toys, isn't that right? This is Pierre's favourite toy. As you can see there, he's not doing that. He's got his mouth open, ready to yeah, so using toys is a good method. What you can do, if the ferret's going for your hands, you can keep a toy box with you at all times, and instead grab a toy and sort of, you can distract them with it, you can sort of do that, and they'll bite it and everything. You can throw a toy and see if that, and if they chase after it. Yeah, that's the toy box. You can throw a toy, you can just sort of, instead of using your hands to do that, use a toy to do that. Or you can get one of these sort of rope toys, like the octopus, and use that to play with them from a distance. All three of those work fine, depending on your ferret. Like sometimes they're not bothered by sort of dangly toys, sometimes they want to be up close, but it really just depends. But yeah, that's usually the main one. Isn't it, Balfi? Isn't it, Balfi? Luckily, Balfi's not much of a biter. He used to go for the ankles, but you're not much of a biter anymore, are you? No, you're not. Alright, so the next method I'm going to demonstrate on Battlefield because he's a bit more chill. It's something called scruffing. So at the back of the neck here is some loose skin. It's some loose skin that you can sort of hold. You don't need to put any pressure. No pressure needed, because it should just be able to just sort of pinch it like that. But don't put pressure, it shouldn't hurt. If they're biting you, or like on your hand or your wrist, if you just scruff them, keep saying no. Don't sort of go, ow, no, stop, because that will confuse them. They need to associate one sound with scruffing. You know, that should usually be, you can say, it kind of doesn't have to be no, but it has to be one specific sound repeated sternly. Don't shout, because, you know, ferrets have ears, they don't want to be shouted at. It's not nice. But so when Balthazar was trying to go, if you go and he'll stop. Pierre listens to no, and it works. Yeah, scruffing, you don't need, it should not hurt the ferret, it should not be using any pressure or pain, it should just be lightly scruffing them by the back of the neck and sort of going no, stop, whatever. Similarly to this is the method of putting something near their mouth when they're biting. So if they're biting really hard on your wrist or your hand, get something like, I might use like a rod or one of these toys, or you might get a sort of, even just something like a bit of like a pencil, and essentially pry it between the ferret's mouth and your skin, and that'll cause them to latch onto that instead, which will give you time to pull away. If your ferrets are biting very hard in a way that's not playful, sometimes they will bite if they feel threatened or scared. If that is happening, the best case is to get used. You do need to get used to handling them through your skin, because otherwise they won't get used to your scent properly or getting used to handle properly. But if you absolutely need to, you can wear gloves while you're handling them. And I had a really bitey ferret. I would use a blanket to hold her and move her because she was just going to bite no matter what. But whatever you do, if a ferret's biting onto you, do not really hard, like drawing blood or whatever, do not try and pull the ferret off. That will cause them to clamp down more. Try the, like putting something between their mouth and your skin method, or scruffing. That's not going to work. Some people do sort of bat on the nose, but I do not recommend doing that. But yeah, those methods should work. Obviously, the ferrets that will keep biting endlessly, really hard, usually have an issue of some sort, like ferrets that may have been rescues and might have had difficult experiences. But usually, if they bite, it's just to be playful, and they always bite. Like ferrets will always play and show affection through playing with their mouths, but as long as it doesn't hurt, there shouldn't be an issue. But even good ones will still bite occasionally. It's just a matter of being consistent. The last method is cage time, or like timeout time, where some people recommend not using their cages for this, but like a box or something, or a cupboard, I don't know, I haven't used this myself. Which is essentially, when they bite, you give them like, you do maybe the scruffing or the toy thing, you say no, and if they do it again, you put them in either in their cage or somewhere else in a dark or quiet place where they can't get out, for between like 1 and 3 minutes. No more than 3, because they will forget why it was there, and at that point it's just cruel. And then you let them out and continue on as normal. This should help them to calm down and reset a little bit. Like I said, some people would recommend not using their cages for this, because you don't want them to associate their cages with punishment. But some people think that putting them in their cage gives them more time, gives them the right moments to calm down and unwind. So it's really up to you what you think is best for your ferret. But yeah, timeouts work pretty well. I did actually used to do this with Pierre when he was younger, but I found that the toy method works better for him. But yeah, so those are the methods of nip training, and I hope you found it useful. Let me know in the comments how you deal with it, if you have any opinions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!